Why are calisthenics athletes so aesthetic? If you look on the internet at the people who are good at calisthenics, you will find one thing in common. They are all aesthetic. I think there is 3 reasons for this. Starting with reason 1. To be good at calisthenics, you have to be decently lean. This is the main factor that seems to set calisthenics athletes apart and make them more aesthetic. As calisthenics is bodyweight based, it's only logical that the less weight you have, the easier the movement is, so it favours you if you're lighter. However, to perform most of the movements, it's ideal if you have more muscle. Based on this information, the ideal body composition for calisthenics would have a good amount of muscle and proportionally little body fat. This is also what is ideal for aesthetics, which is having low body fat and reasonable amounts of muscle. So this is the first thing that makes calisthenics athletes so aesthetic. Next, reason 2. Calisthenics movements are all mainly compound movements. So because of this, you're less likely to develop imbalances when training calisthenics. For example, if you wanted to train your chest with push-ups, you will inevitably be training your triceps and your front delts as well as your chest. So you'll be much less likely to develop a lagging body part. Comparing this to traditional weight training, if you were to train a bicep curl, you'd get no activation from any other muscle for the most part. So you'd strictly be isolating that muscle, meaning in theory, if you didn't have a balanced workout plan, it would be reasonable to expect you to develop imbalances. Adding to this, the variation of movements that you may use to isolate muscles in calisthenics, for example using a diamond push-up to train your triceps, will still target other muscles. In this example, you'll still be training your chest, so it will still be getting that stimulus, ensuring you have a balanced aesthetic physique. Lastly, reason 3 for calisthenics athletes being so aesthetic is the usage or lack of usage of steroids and PEDs. Imagine this doesn't apply to a lot of people, but for calisthenics, depending on what you're taking, steroids can be detrimental to your progress. The usage of certain performance enhancing drugs can lead to athletes putting on more muscle and increasing water retention, both of which increase the athlete's weight and therefore leads to a decrease in performance as they'll have more weight to move. If they were desperate, a cycle could be developed to minimize negative side effects to optimize for calisthenics performance. However, for most athletes, training naturally is sufficient, and it also means that they don't carry massive amounts of muscle, which isn't naturally obtainable, and leads to a physique that isn't aesthetic. With this information, you may choose to implement more calisthenics into your workout routine, or maybe you've just understand now why everyone you see doing calisthenics is so aesthetic. Hopefully this video has been valuable to you, and on that note, I'd like to thank you for watching, and goodbye.